I don't know what it is, but things are, stuff is just not making sense to me a lot when it comes to the simulator genre. It's not, well, in particular, the Playway SA thing. Playway SA, the SA companies, the companies that come from Poland and all this, the Polish companies, we've talked about this many of times, but like, it's starting to become kind of insane because I really love the genre. I really love the simulator genre. I love, you know, playing the games, except over the last few years that I've been playing these games, it's just have gotten, I don't know, that there's something wrong. And it's obvious. And I think this is borderline what happens. Well, I don't know if it's borderline what happens when you have a genre ran by indie developers, indie publishers, things like that. Because that sounds bad out of the mouth, right? That sounds bad, but there's no AAA presence. There's no big dog presence. Which I never thought of it that way. You know, there's big dog presence in almost every single genre, except for the simulator genre. There hasn't really been a AAA like take on the simulator full force, right? There has been mods and stuff like that for big AAA games that have kind of emulated simulators and simulation aspects, kind of like GTA 5 with the roleplay servers and things like that, but not a full-blown, hey, this is going to be a massive budget and we're going to give you this awesome simulator game. Now, that brings me to that point where let's talk about what's going on right now in 2025, May 1st of 2025. So recently I've played a game called E-commerce Simulator 2025. This is actually one of the last couple of streams I did as of the posting of this video. Now, this is just your run-of-the-mill typical simulator game and all that. It is by Playway SA. Talked about the SA companies for a long time now. I feel like it's like a forever like narrative, but I have to say, somebody has, no one's kind of like talking about this, I don't think. And I'm talking about it because I care about the genre a lot. I do. I care about it. And I care about these games succeeding and us as consumers getting a game that we really like and not just being flopped and flipped and flopped and this and that and assets easy. Why am I pointing out E-commerce Simulator 2025? Well, this game came out and it was very, I played it the day before it came out. Playway SA sent me a key so I could play the game on the channel. I played the game on the channel and I don't even know if it lasted 2 hours. It was bad. It was really bad. It's almost like somebody built a game and that was it. And the most important thing, and I think this probably goes with anything if you're developing anything or creating anything in life, is test, then build. Don't build, then test, right? You want to test as you're building. And that's exactly what did not happen in E-commerce Simulator 2025. You can actually go check out my stream and see for yourself. So this game was an absolute flop. I said I wouldn't. I didn't know the price of it before I streamed it, and they didn't send me a price tag for this game, and I said I wouldn't pay any more than $10, and that was being generous. So they released it today on May 1st, and they released it for $10. But that's not the point here. The point is, check this out. Playway SA is the publisher here, right? They're not the developers. They publish the game. They give people money so that they go out and make these games. So these people, when they make them games, they then take a cut for when these games are sent out. They give these indie developers a platform and a little bit of funds so that they can make their games, so that they can be a game dev and, live their dream and whatnot. This is the problem, though. Check this out. This is developed by Voxel Bytes and Playway SA. Why am I pointing this out in particular? Because Voxel Bytes developed the game. They made the game E-commerce Simulator 2025. Playway just published it. Now, if you click on Voxel Bytes, they have an e-commerce simulator game as well coming out. Is this confusing? This is a bit confusing, right? They have their own e-commerce simulator developed and self-published by them. Now, this is the sloppy work, right? Maybe once upon a time they were developing a game, and then they got contacted by Playway SA and say, "Hey, we'll give you some money if you want to, make a game called E-commerce Simulator." And the problem that we're having, I think, with Playway SA and all of the SAs out there, whether it's Monkey Garage SA, Playway SA, Movie Game SA, all of the different SAs out there, they are going too fast and they are putting out too much. Very, very too much. So, Voxelbytes is making, at least right now, publicly, is making an e-commerce simulator game. They're making their own e-commerce simulator game. Somehow, some way, this feels like a conflict of interest or some sort of breach of contract if you look at it from the outside in. Now, maybe what happened is Voxelbytes said, we were going to make a game, and then Playway SA say, hey, why don't you make a game for us instead? And that's what happened, and through sloppy work, Voxelbytes never took down their own game store on Steam. I don't know. Or what could be happening is very simple. Maybe they are going to continue to make their own e-commerce simulator, which there seems, if that's the case, that seems like very, very, there's some serious weird legal things going on there then, right? Because they could just go back to this game called e-commerce simulator 2025 and totally just make it terrible. Why would they test it? Why would they test this game if Playway's publishing it? All right, well, we'll just give you a game, then you can throw it out there and have fun with it. Because, by the way, we're making our own game, and I hope our game that we self-publish is more successful than yours. I don't think that's the case, but you have to sit and think, like, what the hell is going on there? Now, this is the other thing that I'm going to talk about, and it's going to go back to Playway SA here. Playway SA is a fantastic publisher, at least maybe was, maybe still is. That's up to debate, you know, but Playway SA has given us incredible games in the past. Crime Scene Cleaner. Playway has been a part of Crime Scene Cleaner. Fantastic game. Contraband Police, one of my favorite games. Playway SA has been involved in that. House Flipper 2. And not as good as the first one, but it's still a decent game. House Flipper 2. People love it. Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. A fantastic game. Playway SA was involved with it, right? However, these games released in 2024, released in 2023, released in 2021. We're kind of going back, right? We're going back. And even Thief Simulator was a pretty decent game. That was published in that was released in 2018, right? Plum Simulator. I enjoyed it. Had a good time. Mr. Prepper. Mr. Prepper's a pretty good game. Haven't played it? Go play it. Yeah, there's all these different games, right? So now as we turn the page over into 2025, this is the reality of Playway SA and what they are doing currently at the moment. May 1st, e-commerce simulator. They released e-commerce simulator May 1st. April 30th, they released Haunted House Renovator. April 25th, they released Grocery Store Tycoon. At least the prologue, maybe. April 23rd, they released Viking Frontiers. April 21st, they released Farm Manager World. April 18th, they released Hardware Store Simulator. April 15th and April 17th, they dropped new prologues for upcoming games. April 10th, they released Restaurant Owner, a restaurant simulator. And April 9th, they released Used Cars Simulator. Junkyard Builder was released in April 8th, and that was April. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3 Hollow Survivors. 4, not counting prologues. 5, 6, 7, 8. You can almost argue 9. 9 games in 1 month. Now, if you look over here, they show 179 games. They are a part of 180 games as a publisher. That is insane. I don't know if any big market publishers has ever put out 180 games. I could be wrong there, but this is, to me, I don't know. I have no idea. No idea. But if you take even a month back, they did Sin Master Cinema, March 27th. Mini Racer Car Shop Simulator, because there's another game that just came out last week called Supercar Collection Simulator. Now they have Mini Car Race Car Shop Simulator coming out in the end of May, they told me. Liquor Store Simulator, I think, I don't know if that's coming out, if that already came out. Car Mechanic, Blacksmith Simulator, Chocolate Factory Simulator. Like, they are starting to push out. And Laundry Store Simulator, which was self-published by Andy. Andy self-published all of his games until this one game called Laundry Store Simulator, where Playway SA got involved. And this was the only time through the Andy games here that Playway SA ever got involved. And all these games are they're pretty solid. They're nice little games. They're cheap games. They're fun to play. And my favorite one was Movie Cinema Simulator. Gaming Cafe Life was fun. School Cafeteria Simulator. Like, these are $5 games, $5 games, $6 games. These are self-published by Andy himself. Then Laundry Store came up, and they almost doubled the price in the game itself. And fairly, it's basically the same games as the other ones, right? They just double the price, and it's practically the same type of game, just with different items and objects, right? So I don't know. One thing about this whole dealio with Playway SA is simple. It's not simple. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. And I don't think anybody's like speaking up about it. People are just kind of going through the mill. They're like, oh, another simulator game. Let's go ahead and play another one, And I've been kind of like, I've been starting to be more selective about what simulators I play now, because of this issue right here. 9 games in 1 month. Come on, and they're not even that good. E-commerce simulator was terrible. I can't really speak on Haunted House other than I played the demo last year and the game broke. Couldn't tell you anything about Haunted House Renovator. Viking Frontiers, haven't played it, couldn't tell you. Farm Manager World, haven't played it, couldn't tell you. Hardware Store Simulator, haven't played it, couldn't tell you. This just looks like I don't even want it. Like, these 2 games, I don't even want to even. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you know. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Are we like, are we just kind of like, and I think this was the last one other than the e-commerce one. Did I play? Yeah, I played this one. It was all right. It was all right. It was done by Dreamway Games, and Dreamway Games did do Espresso Tycoon, and this game was fun. I did enjoy Espresso Tycoon. So I wanted to see their take on like an open world game. Oh, hey, look who it is. Your freaking forehead. There you go. Your forehead blasted on a game published by Playway SA. But that's beside the point. It's just, I don't know. It is getting kind of saturated. The simulator genre is getting saturated. And I know a lot of people have been talking about it for at least a year now. Like, asset flip this, asset flip that. It's very true. It's very true. It's true. It's asset flip this, asset flip that. Yeah, all right. Yeah, no kidding. But like, I think there are some very strong points in this kind of like survival simulator genre, like life simulation genre. And I think the gem right now, currently in that genre, is Schedule 1. And it kind of goes back to the whole, it's ridiculous that Movie Game SA had to do what they had to do when Schedule 1 came out, right? Because, who's putting out simulator games? Playway SA, Garage Monkey SA, Movie Game SA. Those are like the 3 top dogs, and they're spitting games out left and right. They are. They're spitting games left and right, and there are other companies out there that are trying to, other independent or indie devs that are trying to emulate now what Playway SA is doing. And I'll give you an example. Ones that are trying to now maybe try their hand at trying to emulate this formula of putting games out at a high rate, quantity over quality, and make a couple listen, you get maybe $10, $15 for these games. You put out a $10, $15 game, 3 times a month, give or take, and you sell about, 1,000 copies. That's not a lot of copies to sell. You sell 1,000 copies at $15 a piece, at $10 a piece, and then you just have that, that formula compound and compound. Red Axe Games, I feel like, is one of those publishers that are going to start doing that kind of formula. I made a video about this game in particular, 2 videos of this Banker Simulator, a couple months ago. Ever since I made those videos, they've changed the release dates and things like that, and they were in the same process. They were going to release 6 games themselves. I think like 5 or 6 games in the span of like 6, like, okay, quarter 2, Banker Simulator, Airport Police Simulator. This is new. I haven't seen this yet. So there's another game they're working on. GamerStop Simulator. This is another game they're working on I haven't seen since the last time I checked up on them. Drive-Through Simulator, quarter 2, 2025. Banker Simulator, quarter 2, 2025. Car Service Simulator, quarter 2, 2025. Enigma Cases, quarter 3, 2025. Barrack Simulator, Monkey Testing, Dead Engine, Village of Vagabonds. Like, I haven't even seen these games come up yet. But these are going to be like, this is going to be like another publisher that probably does the same thing that Playway SA does. They see the success that Playway SA does, and they're going to be like, okay, hey, we're going to go ahead and put out a bunch of games. We're going to put out like 8 games, at once. We're going to develop, and we're going to publish. We're going to develop, and we're going to publish, right? And don't to be confused that I think it was Banker Simulator in particular. Banker Simulator by Soy Games. Soy Games is not like a separate developer or anything. This is their in-house people. They just changed the name of the developer instead. They told me specifically that they are a team of 40 people and they have a lot going on. So they have 40 people and they have about 8 games coming out this year. I think, again, it's kind of going back to that whole Playway SA kind of formula. Push it out, push it out, push it out, push it out. Leave it, leave it, leave it. And that's sad because that ruins the reputation for simulators, man. It does. And it makes some of us not want to play them anymore, which is kind of sad. Because when I started playing them back in 2019, 2020, 2021, they were cool. They were nice. They were something new. And now it's just like the run-of-the-mill, here you go. We're going to give you this. Play it for like $10, $15. And that's it. It's kind of depressing. It is kind of depressing indeed. I'm all for, like, seeing an idea and trying to do that same idea and maybe give it your own little twist. But I mean, come on. There has to be like some sort of like competitiveness. It doesn't even look like there's any competitiveness. Really, there isn't. Just throw this together, put a better picture on, and sell it. That's it. I don't know. The thing about Playway SA, though, is Playway SA put out so many good games in the past. Now it's just, and it almost makes you feel like what they are doing could be just tarnishing. Like, are they bad repping themselves? Representation. You're putting your name on all these games that are coming out now. You have 9 games that came out this last month. Your name is on that, right? Usually you would think, like, if you put your name on something and you sell it to someone, chances are you want to be proud about that something, right? You want to be proud that you're selling something and people, can enjoy. I don't know. Now, Playway SA has an incredible amount of companies, indie devs underneath them. They do have, obviously, we know about them being, their stock price and being part of the stock market and things like that. Anything that has SA in it, Ultimate Games SA, Movie Games SA, Manager Games SA, this SA, that SA, this SA. It all started with Playway SA. Because Playway, it put out some incredible hits. They did. Car Mechanic Simulator was huge, right? Massive. And if you look at themselves, they're all Polish. It all comes from Poland, right? They tell you and they say their goal is to put out as many games as possible. That's their goal. They will tell you that straight up. Now, Has it been successful? Maybe. Possibly. Is it going down the wrong way now? Maybe. Possible. They put out a lot of games years ago. But they were high quality games. What's happening to the quality of the games now? They're turning around. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I couldn't tell you. But the CEO himself goes on to say, like, 2011, they launched this new company called Playway SA that has quickly established itself as a leading developer and publisher of PC and mobile games worldwide. Playway has a unique business concept. So this is their business concept. Their business concept is with objective to diversify and minimize risk by creating a large number of games using many different teams located in various different cities in Poland. The objective has been fully achieved already by the end of 2015. The company has produced more than 40 games in past and now working on 60 titles which are developer in 44 development teams. Yeah, so this is obviously a little bit out of date now. So in 2015, they had 40 games. 10 years later, they have 100, and what did we say earlier in the video? 180, 170 games? So in 10 years, they've times it by 4, I guess. A little bit over. The CEO says recent plans are even more exciting and ambitious. Recently, we decided to enter the main stock market in Poland. At the same time, he will be soon opening live in Playway campus located in Warsaw, where game developer teams can join Playway with flexible rules of cooperation and free of cost. That's the thing. I think they have they probably have a very good they probably have a good pitch to any developer that wants to be a developer. And I think honestly, like and I think the thing about all of this is now with this formula and this idea in the indie kind of world, in the indie game world, especially in the simulator world, where we have devoted so many hours and so many days and so many months and so many, like, you could say years into this genre, that this formula of diversify, minimize risk by creating a large amount of games is now starting to inspire other people to do the exact same. And that's the real root of the problem. You know, in steps Red X Games. Red X Games, who is Turkish, they are from Turkey. They are also doing what seems to be the same formula as Playway SA. They were founded by a team who are passionate about delivering innovative and fun experiences in the game development industry. Our mission is to open new and exciting doors in the gaming world and provide our users with unique and addictive experiences. And that's why they have a nice little thing called Publish with Us. Studio developer name, size, country, website. This is the 40-man team that we talked about earlier. Yeah. You know, and I think that's probably all of it right there. Now, I'm not saying the entire genre is under, but I do feel like the genre is starting to become so saturated with this kind of practices. The practice of putting out more instead of quality. Putting out more with minimum risk because it only takes us maybe a couple months and it doesn't cost us a lot to actually make the game. So if it's cheaper to make, then we possibly have higher profit margins if it goes viral, right? Stuff like that. This takes away from all the other indie developers who don't want to publish with some of these publishers and instead they want to publish themselves, right? Because what happens when you have a monopoly like this, you could almost argue Playway is a monopoly with subsidies and all these different companies under them. Playway is the parent company and they are all pushing things out at a fast and crazy speed. All these other indie developers start to get buried. They'll get buried in the algorithm. They'll get buried within everything else. And then you won't actually get to see someone who maybe is sitting at home as a family, works full-time, develops a game part-time, putting blood, sweat, and tears, hours upon hours into their game. And their game idea either gets taken away and produced by these other companies that can quickly flip that idea in a month, and then maybe they'll totally ruin the idea and be like, oh, a liquor store simulator. And someone made this incredible liquor store simulator they put years into, and nobody wants to look at it because they already got a bad taste from what Playway possibly put out, or any company that put out, right? And that's the sad part about it, man. It's sad. It's sad to see. It really is sad to see. I don't know. I and I don't think this is another genre problem. If you look at Playway SA and you look at all the other SA games, they specialize in mostly just simulators. Yeah, they've maybe possibly tinkered with the roguelike, but even the roguelike genre is super saturated, but it's not even a bad saturation with the roguelike. At least there's like mostly quality stuff. It's the bad stuff that's coming out simulator world right now. Nobody's talking about it. No one's speaking up about it. Whether it's content creators, streamers, and we get the game for free and then we play it, and then some of us can make a game look really fun, right? And then when the viewer buys the game with their hard-earned cash and they sit down and they play an hour of it and they're like, wow, this wasn't as fun as it was when I watched the streamer play, right? Yeah. I mean, mostly, at least in my situation, I'll play the games that I think are interesting, that I think people will like, and I'll try to make that experience entertaining. Then I'll give you like a thought or two, like would I recommend this game or not. There's been a couple of games I would not recommend, and that we've played recently, and there's been some games that I have recommended that we played recently. But so far right now, the solo devs that are like standing out, are the ones that are putting years into their games. Schedule One, Income, are putting years before they even release the game in early access, right? If you are a developer and you're watching this and you have an idea that maybe nobody has done yet, don't tell anybody. At least don't tell anybody on social media, because somebody could come up, bigger company could come up, and we like to call these companies indie devs, indie publishers. I mean, they're in the stock market, man. Are they even do they qualify as indie publishers anymore? How much money do they have? Usually the term indie developer, indie publishers, it's all based around budget, money, and things like that. If you have X amount, if you pass a threshold of money, you are not considered an indie publisher anymore. I don't know what you think. Let me know what you think. It's very interesting to talk about, and I care about the genre a lot. I care about the games that come out, and I don't like where it's going. I don't like where the genre is heading, and I'm not a big fan of Playway SA's motto, objective, and more games, F quality. I don't think it's a winning formula. I think eventually you get yourself in this situation where you've released 9 games in the last month and they're not even like, who even wants to play them? Who, right? Playway SA, you've published some great games in the past, but something's going on and I don't know what's happening, but something's happening, and yeah. People are trying to emulate you too, like your business practice, and I don't think it's good for the genre. If we have twice the many people that are trying to do that, look, that's not good. Not good at all. Not good for the genre, not good for gaming, and I don't know what to say. Really all I got. Let me know your thoughts down below, what you think about all this. Interesting. Very interesting indeed.